All right. All right. Welcome back. Glad you game pod. Come back at you. Look at that. The stream's set up already perfectly. Maybe. I think I'm recording. I feel like I am. Hold on. Let me check. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Recording so hard. All right. What are we doing here? Nothing. Just another electric weekend gaming. You want to believe who got bought this week? No one. No one got bought this week. I know. What? That can't happen every week. We had like 2 back-to-back unprecedented levels of buying. And now, just back to boring old gaming updates. Jesus. I mean, what do we have to look forward to? Nothing. Oh, wait. They finally fucking announced Grand Theft Auto 6. That is probably the only thing that is not like some giant studio purchase that's just as exciting for all of gaming is GTA 6. Finally, after a fucking decade plus of GTA 5, well, since the announcement, it's been released almost a full decade. Came out in 2013. We're going to go into that. I have a couple of things to go into. Let me get a little parched. Going to get a little drink on. If you're seeing this on video, that's right. It's pomegranate juice, baby. Not just any. It's Palm Wonderful. And it is wonderful. I know what you're thinking. Wow. You guys got Palm, well, me, got Palm Wonderful as a sponsor on the pod? No. I was just drinking it and just happened to be in here. But, I'll tell you right now, if they want to, sure as shit, we'll back it up. We'll let them all in. Come on in. It's all right. So, I haven't even checked to make sure the live works. Man, imagine if one day this becomes so massive or just big enough that I have somebody that checks this for me so I don't have to go on it. Would be awesome. I can definitely tell we're streaming, and we're definitely hearing audio. It looks good. Like it, love it, want more of it. All right. Got the multi-chat up there. I can read it. I can see it. All right. So, couple topics today. And if you notice, yeah, when it's solo me, which is going to be a lot of these, or pretty much all of them, Sage is going to come on sporadically. He just got a lot going on. But he's very much, if we want to do decals or, images, shit like that, I think he's going to try to do stuff like that when he can. But if not, show must go on. I can't stop, won't stop. All right, I love this shit too much. And like I said, I just have so much information I want to talk about games. I just can't get it out, or no one else wants to talk to me about it. So I have to talk to you, the camera, the people, the audience. All right? And that's who I've chosen to speak to. So we got a couple things. GTA 6, Dying Light 2, Valorant updates, and Nintendo Direct. So let's shake it on its head. Nintendo Direct is tomorrow. What do we think is going to be there? Obviously, the number one thing on everybody's mind is Breath of the Wild 2. Now, Breath of the Wild 2 is right now confirmed a 2022 release. It's still scheduled to be one. This direct kind of just got out of nowhere that they announced they're going to do this. They announced it earlier today that they were going to have a Nintendo Direct. Everybody's expecting Breath of the Wild 2. I think it could be there. Sure. I mean, they keep saying that it's definitely this year. Except we haven't seen anything. We don't know an exact release window other than 2022. We haven't really seen shit about it. So it feels kind of scary being like, oh, it's definitely this year. It's kind of like God of War Ragnarok. We're like, yeah, it's definitely this year, right? But we haven't really got a ton of information on that either yet. So it's like, it feels hard to believe. But then again, half of me didn't believe that like Dying Light 2, Sifu, Horizon, Elden Ring are really going to come out this month. And at least 2 of them have so far. So we're halfway there, baby. But yeah, so they keep reiterating that it's definitely going to come out this year. There hasn't been any big delays. I doubt they'll confirm a delay or anything tomorrow. I think this is probably going to just kind of go over some other Nintendo games that are like lesser known. but I think you almost have to say something about it because Nintendo's not stupid. They're completely aware that people are like, where the fuck is Breath of the Wild 2? Where is this information? So I'm betting maybe it'll be like a poster or something like that, maybe a teaser. But I think even if there's nothing they actually show, I think they'll either confirm the release window or confirm it's passing, because in February, they should definitely know if it's still coming out this year. And if they need to push it, that's fine, push it. But they can definitely make that decision at this place, giving what their release window is looking like. Again, last year they said, it was last year they said it was going to come out this year. So, but we know things can change. We know the delays happen. We've seen it all. I mean, literally every game in February was a delayed game from another month, except maybe Sifu. Or Shufu. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's what game I'm talking about. I believe it's Sifu. So I said Sifu. It might be pronounced something else, and I apologize. It's a sick fighting game, basically like the Raid almost, but if you die, you get that experience and then you age. It's a nice revenge tale. But that I haven't really got much into that, so that's why I'm not ready to dive into that. But the one thing I am ready to dive into is more Nintendo Direct. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, that's all we really know. I would say there's going to be something about it. It's tomorrow afternoon, so we'll find out. You won't get it on this pod, maybe the next. Just check our Twitter. And if you want thoughts on it sooner than that. But let's keep this moving along, right? Because I know we have a main event that we can just talk about a good amount. So just another Valorant update. So last time I played Valorant, back in the day, I was Silver 3, right? Just right beneath that G1 tier, touching it. And I get right to it, then fall back down. And get right to it, and fall right down. So that was a couple months ago. And then the other week, I kind of got a little bit more into Valorant. Still didn't play it that much. And then played a little bit over the weekend. So right now I'm hovering in the bronze area. I'm not even back to silver. So I got re-ranked. And also it's a new season, so everybody got re-ranked. But I was bronze 3, and I was like, what the fuck, man? I used to be the silver guy and just falling in between that. And let me tell you, I did not miss these bronze iron games, because you get some games where it's everybody knows they're doing stuff and it's fine. It's fun. But then you get bronze iron games where half your team doesn't fucking know what they're doing and they just get clipped every time. And it's awesome when it's the other team, right? But then it still doesn't even really feel that competitive. So it's not as fun. You want to be dominant, right? You want to be in demon mode. But you want to do the competition. You want to be the best, got to play the best. I don't want to just get easy wins. Every now and then, yeah, it's a nice little confidence booster. But you want to, because you want to improve your aim and stuff like that. You're going to have so much time to aim on these guys. So it's really annoying, and it's so hit or miss because I can't control it because I'm solo queuing, right? So because everybody used to play moved on to other games. Now I'm solo queuing. It's I don't have anybody to group with, so it's so much harder. That's well, hopefully you get a good squad, because if you don't, it's a bitch. And it's incredible how many people don't use comms in these lower levels. Silver, everybody's using comms. And even high bronze, but once you go bronze 2 or lower, good fucking luck. They don't know what things are called. They don't talk, or it's just a bunch of toxic fucking 12-year-olds to 50-year-olds. I mean, it's crazy. So that's been a pain in the ass, but it has been fun to come back. I haven't seen any crazy weapon skins. I've seen some of the new ones. They don't blow me away. Prime is still my jam, but nothing crazy new. There is a new map, Fracture, which I learned a little bit, and there's 2 new agents, Neon and Chamber. I've unlocked them. I haven't played them yet, because frankly, they don't really interest me. I used to always I was Reyna main, then a Viper main, then Kind of fucked around with Killjoy. Now I'm fucking around with Brim. I just randomly took him one ratchet, and I kind of really like Brim. It's like I'm like in my Brim stage. So maybe I'll go into like a I don't know, a chamber or neon stage, but I get it. And no one really gets mad at you when you like just grab Brim. Everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah, you want Splice Specs? Great. Like maybe I'll fuck with Omen. I do love Brim's Molly. When I kill somebody with the Molly, it's like the funniest thing. Cause it's like, dude, just run away. And I love the alt to just check the bomb tap to make sure you like guarantee a win. That saved me a couple of times. You know, sometimes I just use it because I'm bored and just see if I'll catch somebody off guard. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it really doesn't. Sometimes it really doesn't work. And then I get made fun of. And it's very sad. Very sad. But I get over it. And I get right back on it, right? But it is, you know, I do love the game. It is definitely like my like FPS shooter. Like I'm not going to play COD. I'm not going to play Siege. I'm not going to play CSGO. Like, I think I'm a Valorant guy. I'm not going to play Overwatch. I feel like I like Valorant, how its playstyle works. And until there's something better, it's like I'm going to keep rolling with that. So Valorant's my guy. But yeah, it's been fun. I am going to try to get back to Silver. We'll see. Or if I get too frustrated, I'm like, fuck it, because there's too much else to play. I haven't played Halo Infinite in a while, which apparently a lot of people haven't. It's dropped off the top 5 most played for Xbox, actually, online. Which is kind of interesting. Let me see how much they dropped here. Player drops. I was reading the article about it earlier, and I was like, that's kind of what happened to me. Like, like I just haven't playing it as much. So I can't fucking find this goddamn article. But no, that's no problem for life. Okay. So yeah, this is not the same article, but it's one of them where it's just talking about how it's dropping its online concurrent count. Basically dropped off. It was at like 30,000. Now it's like, it's at around 30,000 when it was like 250,000. So it's a 90% drop off, but like you kind of expect that. There are going to be ebb and flows. It was in Xbox's top 5 most played, but it's now fallen off. It's actually in the 6th position. It's behind Fortnite, Call of Duty, GTA 5, Apex, and Roblox. I always fuck that up. So we know that's been falling. So it's just kind of been trending downwards. And I think that's like those online games kind of ebb and flow. If you don't really like it, you get excited, then you're kind of like bored with the style. I will say the competitive play style from what I played in it didn't really hook me. It's a lot of fun, but it just feels like it's missing something that like CSGO has or Val has. It's more for like the people who play COD, which is fine. But COD always was missing something too to me that I just didn't care as much. It didn't feel as like tactical, right? It's kind of just like, whatever, respawns me nothing. I know there's like hardcore modes and shit, but it just never has felt like that competitive, right? Now there's hackers and shit like that, but I mean like it never really considered to me like a real competitive, like that's how you prove you're a shooter. Val is, CSGO, those are like the main ones, right? And they just like give their strategy games like Dota and League. Like there's like an upper echelon that it's just not at. And Halo, and I don't, to be clear, I don't think it was trying to be that. And this is probably just a bunch of people being excited about playing it again and then be like, it's not for me, or I'll jump in every now and then, but I'm not going to do it every day. Right? Other games came out, life came in the way, whatever. That's kind of how I felt about it too. So that's why my drop off. So then what have I been playing? So obviously Val, but what else? Dying Light 2. So it came out on Friday. I put probably 9 hours in it. I played a lot over the weekend as well. It was like Val or this. It's awesome. It's so good. There is a massive update, day 1 patch that has like 1,000 fixes in it. So I didn't play the pre-patch, so I know some people had issues pre-patch, but I haven't ran into any glitches like that. Nothing game breaking, nothing crashing, knock on wood. Just kind of the same old shit. I will say, it just feels graphically looks amazing, right? There's like 3 options on PS5. It's performance, quality, and resolution. I know you're thinking like, oh, quality resolution. So resolution is like to make sure it's 4K, but you don't get your ray tracing and stuff. And then quality is getting, make sure you're getting ray tracing and shit like that. But I think it's only at 1080p. Let me just confirm that. And it's, which I've been toggling between 4K and yeah, so quality mode resolution is locked to 1080p and a frame rate of 30 frames per second, but the players now benefit from improved shadows and lighting effects, the ray tracing effects, etc. like that. So you have that, and then like I don't really care about performance mode. I'm not really that interested. So then the other one is resolution, which is like 4K 30, or you do performance, which is 1080p 60. You know, I don't really care. I would say on quality, it still looks just as good to me. Obviously, it's not as fine detailed as it is in resolution mode, but I will say the ray tracing and the shadow effects almost make you like not give a shit, like because the lighting is just so good. And that's the same options on Xbox Series X. Now, obviously, if you get this on PC, you can go nuts with like async compute, anti-aliasing, high motion burst, sun shadow squad, ambient occlusion, all that shit. You can turn all that crap on and make it like look like a whole different visually amazing game. But you know, I'm playing on PS5 because I just kind of like these kind of games on my PlayStation. As opposed to the PC. PC is like for Val or like League of Legends, Dota kind of shit. I kind of reserve that for like RTSs and like high strategy FPSs. So I mean, but I'm enjoying it. But story wise, if you like the first one, you're like this one. It's that simple. It's a new character, new protagonist, but it's not incredibly different. It's a massive world. The world is incredible. You get these things like you windmills and water towers and all this shit you can unlock, and then you can choose like which faction you want to give it to, and depending on when you want to give it to, the city around you changes towards that faction, whether it's the survivors or the peacekeepers. The survivors tend to give you better overall stuff throughout the city, but the peacekeepers have some cool stuff as well. Overall, I mean, it's, you know, it's just cool being able to kind of choose that and traverse. And I always love Dying Light's traversal across this massive map, right? And the parkour stuff, all of that's there. They've tuned it up a little bit so you can do a lot more. But yeah, long story short, if you love the first one, you'll like this one. You'll love this one. But it is, you're not going to get like a wildly different game. Be like, oh my God, we can do this, this, and this. It's like, it's basically the same thing, except it looks better. Bigger map, and then now you can kind of like choose between factions and like build the world around you. You don't physically build it by unlocking these towers and stuff. It builds stuff. So then you get vendors, UV light, and there's a new interesting stuff that they do have a couple new interesting takes on it that I found pretty fun. So I would definitely say it's worth it. Now, to be clear, I was someone who really liked Dying Light, the first one. So if not, you might want to just wait till it's on sale. It's not something that's like, you need to go out tomorrow and you have to fucking play Dying Light 2, right? If you were like, on the first one, you're probably like, you're probably like, on the second one. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like, I would say it's like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 right now, like, which is great, which is exactly what I expected. Like, I wasn't expecting Halo. I wasn't expecting God of War. You know, now it's like, let's go into those, right? So that's what I expect, something with that high expectation, Horizon Zero Dawn. Or Forbidden West, I should say. That I expect to be like flawless. Elden Ring, that I expect to be flawless, right? Those two huge releases. Those are ones that if they're like, 7 out of 10, big fucking miss. Those are at least 9 or 10 out of 10. They need to be flawless, right? But Dying Light 2 never needed to be. And it's okay. But it has a ton of awesome stuff. I think it's totally worth it. And it's a huge game. I mean, the tutorial's like 3 fucking hours till you even get to, like, now it's an open world. It takes like 3 fucking hours, and you traverse like an open area before you even get in the city. So, I mean, it's definitely worth it. There's a lot of new areas, but yeah, so I would say a solid 7 out of 10. That's definitely worth playing if you're a fan of the first one, or just like zombie open world kind of games and you need that feeling in your life. You want something new. I would say it will fulfill that. If not, it's definitely still worth playing. Just maybe grab it on sale. We'll find out about. I haven't played Sifu a ton yet, so I don't want to go on that. But from what I've seen, it's excellent. But I didn't really have crazy expectations of that. That's just a beautiful surprise, right? An awesome surprise. And then Horizon Forbidden West. An Elden Ring. Obviously, I haven't played yet. Very excited. Also, if you're getting you're getting Horizon on PS5. If you have a PS5, buy the PS4 copy. It's $10 less, $60 instead of $70. They will give you on release day a copy for the PS5, same one that you'd get for $10. Just the way they structured their payment plan, and Jim Ryan said that as well, and it does note that in the description for the standard edition for the PS5. So just make sure you do that. Just save yourself $10. If you don't care, all right, whatever. But I mean, still save $10. Go buy some dinner, get some McDonald's, have a treat yourself for a little, $10. Rent a movie. I don't know, but buy something cool on fucking the PlayStation Network, one of those $5 games, $10 games, whatever. So I just kind of want to put that out there. That's worth it, but we'll see. We'll see when that big guy comes out. All right, so let's get into the big news of the week, right? We got GTA 6, baby. It finally fucking happened. I'm so goddamn excited, right? Because I love the GTA trilogy. GTA 3, I used to play all the time. I remember taking off of school the first day it came out. I was in middle school. It was incredible. Then you get all of the, the experiences past it, Vice City, San Andreas. Then you get 4. Then you get 5. I mean, it's just... And then obviously you have Liberty City stories and shit like that, which were fun, but they were still great. But then we get GTA 5, right? Which is like everyone, they're doing a massive new experience. 5 got us the 3 protagonists, right? Which are kind of always living the world and you can jump between at any time. And then also adding GTA Online was like, holy shit. So it became this massive living game forever. And it's fucking amazing, right? It's still massively played today. You just heard me. It's one of the top 5 Xbox games right now. And I'm sure it also is for PlayStation. I'm sure it is on PC. I mean, it's huge. So, but, it can't go on forever. So Rockstar released a note updating about new DLC and things like that. And then they added this. What's next? With the unprecedented longevity of GTA 5, we know many of you have been asking us about a new entry in the Grand Theft Auto series. With every new project we embark on, our goal is always to significantly move beyond what we have previously delivered. And we are pleased to confirm that active development for the next entry in the Grand Theft Auto series is well underway. We look forward to sharing more as soon as we are ready, so please stay tuned to the Rockstar Newswire for official details. On behalf of our entire team, we thank you for all your support and cannot wait to step into the future with you, Rockstar Games. Bang! Very excited. Everybody blew up. GTA 6 is officially mentioned, announced, confirmed by Rockstar. Couple things here. 1, awesome. 2, the important part, like I said, they'll always move significantly beyond. It's going to be crazy to see what they're going to do in this one. My guess is not really more London location-wise, or I don't really care. Sage and I kind of talked about this like last year. I want them to move to we can have multiple cities we can travel through. So like the size of GTA 5, but I can also go to Vice City, right? Like San Andreas and Vice City. Kind of adding another component to it, another level that only could be possible on the new gen of systems, or like San Andreas and London in the 90s, right? The 90s would be kind of a cool time period to do this in. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I think there needs to be a multi-city that you can travel to no matter what, right? Because you could kind of go to mountains, the desert, the city, all that kind of shit in 5. So they need to expand it to where it's let's go to, be able to fly to these other places or an island or something to really expand this, and not even mentioning the online component. Now, the other part of this is well underway, and that's kind of what I figured. I would bet this is, and I kind of looked up some information, Kotaku kind of confirmed, or have reports, that the development for this has been already around 2 years. So around April 2020, which is kind of what I figured, because this is kind of in line with what they did for GTA 5. So just give you a retrospective on GTA 5 was announced November 3rd, 2011. And they were like, we're already well underway. GTA 5 is in full development. But it was already in development prior to that for about a year or two. And then it released in September 17th, 2013. So about 2 years after that. I would bet, and I think maybe it was just a year in development. I think this is correct that it's been going on well underway. Implies that this thing is not like just went into full development or whatever. This has been fully getting worked out for at least a year, if not two. And the reports around Kotaku are correct. It's closer to 2, right? So April 2020. It'll be 2 years in like 2 months. I would bet that's probably true, which kind of leads us to, I'm betting it's September next year, 23. It could creep into 24, but it's not going to be further than that, because you can just look at this. When they make this kind of announcement saying we're doing this, it's well underway and we'll have more info. I'm betting they're just kind of saving shit for E3, for a big press conference or a Sony showcase or something like that. I say Sony because they always use the Sony showcase to announce their new shit. It could be the Xbox One. But anyways, a showcase, whether it's at E3 or that time of year, I expect we'll actually get the release date. We'll definitely get the release date this year. My bet is it's going to be September 2023. If it's not, I would say it's going to be like early spring 2024. So like March 2024. Like I would say it's kind of that like 6 month, 7 month span. I don't think we'll have to even wait till fall 2024, and sure as shit, not 2025. I could be wrong unless there's a crazy delay. There's a reason why I think this. I think this is going to go more modular route, kind of like Destiny 2, right? Which is getting these DLCs that are expanding the entire universe. And some of the Kotaku stuff has talked about this. I think to make it be like a significant move significant beyond, it's the multiple cities, but also be kind of like a living game. They didn't know that GTA 5 was going to last for like a fucking decade. GTA Online is a big part of that, and they're able to keep updating it, adding patches to it, updating graphics, things like that, to make it more useful. That's why it survived so many generations, right? PS3 is when it came out, if people don't forget. GTA 5 came out on PS3, not PS4. Then there was a PS4 release, and there's going to be a PS5 release. So, I mean, we skipped an entire generation with this. So now it's like GTA 5 is so ahead of its time, and that's 2 generations ago of really base hardware, foundational hardware. So what they can do with this is probably so fundamental. I don't see why they couldn't do another whole city and some type of connection, or maybe more in depth where everything is open, every door, every window, more, really bring that vibe back, which could bring a more Liberty City situation in, or London, more an international. But I think to kind of move to this beyond is the double city and be modular, kind of like Destiny. So I think like the reason I don't think it'll be any longer than March 2024, and I really think it's gonna be 2023, is because I think this is gonna be a living game where they're going to release it, and it's by no means half a game, right? It'll still be a massive game, massive single player, but then they're still going to be patching it with DLC and stuff to expand. They probably have storyline expansions planned, so kind of like the Witch King with Destiny 2, where it's like, oh, we're going to expand the online here. The single player, we're going to be adding a new city this day. So it's like they don't have to deliver it all on day one. And you kind of saw this with like Halo Infinite and stuff, where it's like single player wasn't there for a couple months. It was multiplayer. And then they're like, we don't have co-op campaign yet, but we're going to add it. I think it's going to be more like that. I would say it might be the single player first, then the multiplayer, because they have to nail the multiplayer to replace it. And they might want people to kind of live in the new GTA 6 world, understand it, and then go to multiplayer. Obviously, their biggest cash cow is GTA Online. So I think by splitting it up like that, that's a big bonus. Having planned story DLC is a big bonus, kind of just like Destiny 2, right? It wasn't, if you look at it, the game that released to the game today, it's very different, right? They've improved a lot of things. They've added new areas. I think that's exactly what we're doing with GTA. So that's why I think it won't go longer than this. I mean, I've been in the industry for like 12 years. it's a 3 to 4 year development cycle. I can't see this going to 5, especially with Rockstar, especially with, I guarantee they've already been heavily planning on this, and they have the money to make sure they're doing it right. And they've probably been planning this game for a long fucking time. This game has probably been being designed for 6 years. Then it just started getting developed in 2020, right? And then, so I think they have their their decided goal. They have the hardware in place, and they're ready to kind of fucking roll. So and I think they made this announcement because they're ready. They knew once they make this, they can't just hold it. Because they also know they're not idiots. They know it's been a fucking decade. They even mentioned the unprecedented longevity of GTA 5, meaning they didn't fucking think that was going to happen, right? So they know how long it's been. They know they probably want something new, right? So they're not going to announce this and be like, it's another 2 years, 3 years to this. No. This is like, it's next year, maybe a year and a half away. Maybe 2 full years of as in like it's next February 2024. But yeah, so I would say a max 2 years away, but most likely next year. And I think this is like the first of a massive marketing campaign for GTA 6 because, and I think the fact that they didn't say GTA 6 is also interesting. They said the next entry in the GTA series. I'm thinking we might get another like San Andreas or Vice City, right? Whereas GTA, Vice City, GTA, San Andreas, as opposed to GTA 6. The only reason I think that is because of the GTA 5 announcements. They called it GTA 5, like it's a numbered game. This feels like, now it could be. It could just be GTA 6, and that they just, different marketing guy wrote it differently. I don't know. Or girl, different marketing person. Doesn't matter. I just feel like that's more likely, but whatever the fuck it is, if it's 6 or if it's, Vice City, Liberty City, whatever it is, it will be fall next year, or it'll be at latest 2 years from the 24, spring 24. I don't see it, at all going past that. It just doesn't make sense because they know people have been clamoring for so long. I think they were holding the talk about it until they're like, we know this is not going to get delayed. We're confident we can hit our deadlines and we can nail this fucker out. And I think they have stuff they're going to be ready to share. That's why, like, stay tuned to the Rockstar Newswire. They're not going to make you stay tuned for like a long time. They probably have a rollout plan that we might even get more in March. Like, this could be like a month when they start releasing further details on this. So I would expect to get a lot more information in the next coming months, not really having to wait like 6 months. I would say like by May, June max. We'd know, so next 4. But E3 timeframe at the latest. But I would expect some stuff dribbling out in March and April as well. So I think it's really exciting. I can't fucking wait. I love these goddamn games so much, just like everybody. But I've been there. So GTA 3, I played 1 and 2, which the top level shit that I think people have no idea about. GTA 3 was so fundamental of a game for me, not just the gaming industry, but me personally. I love that game. It shaped like how I got interested in gaming, why I became a software engineer, all that shit. A lot of it stemmed from that, and Wizard of War on Atari 2600, so way back in the day. But there's so much good here that it's exciting, and that's kind of my rationales why I think it's going to take this long, or not take that long, I guess I could say. So I think there's a lot. I think it's pretty exciting. I could probably keep talking about this like all day, but I think the important part is GTA 6 is 100% confirmed. It's well underway, and it's probably going to use PS5 and XSX as Xbox Series X. Like, this generation will be the only generation it releases on. Not that it won't release on something later, right? Like, it could have the longevity of this one. But I mean, I don't see this going to PS4. I don't see it going to previous gen. This is going to be like, hey, we're releasing, especially that's going to be a year or 2 away. It's like, hey, we built it with the next gen framework. We waited for the next gen framework. Maybe that's why it took so long, because they were waiting for the dev kits to get out. That's like a pretty fair assumption. So when the PS5 and the Xbox Series X dev kits came out, they probably were just like, fucking go, baby. So I would expect a lot more information to come out in March, April, and then probably a teaser trailer or a full trailer by E3 time, like that area, because it's not, no one really goes to E3 anymore. It's like they do their own, a lot of places are doing their own thing, but it's still like the time, like they know the gaming time. So I think that's really exciting. I think they wouldn't be telling us unless there's a lot. I can go on and on about this all night, but I won't. But yeah, and I think it would be cool if it goes international. That'd be fucking sweet. Kind of reminds me of The Getaway, if people remember that game. Or kind of give us like 90s LA and London, or New York and London, and we can like fly between the two. I think that would be really cool, where you can kind of jump around. You know, are they going to do the 3 protagonists again? Maybe, because they might feel like they have to, you know, because of what they did. I don't think they'll do like a character creator. I think they like to have their specific stories, and the look of these characters is always, the characters look, you know, the way they're written, and they're very focused on that. They write these like Oscar-winning fucking films, right? So they have them in mind. So I think a character creator would kind of like take away from like what they can deliver from a story, because they are fine-tuning it. Now, obviously, do all the crazy shit in the world, but I think that's a big part of it. I would expect a massive cast. I would say this is probably, you know, casting-wise for voice talent, this is probably like getting like a Scorsese film or a Spielberg film right there. Everybody's probably like, oh, I'll fucking be in the next Grand Theft Auto. Hell yeah. So, and 5 was kind of like that already, but I think even more every time it grows. Everybody knows what this is, even if you like gaming or not. So I think it's really exciting. I think we'll get a lot of news. I think we'll get news on the casting, like who's the main protagonist. My bet is, I don't know if they'll do the 3, but it's definitely be a guy and a girl. I can't, like, I think they will do that, because if you always think like all the protagonists have always been like a male, I think they'll do that, right? Add some diversity to that. And yeah, maybe you play as like both, like they're two, it's like a couple or something like that. That'd be fucking cool. Or it's like 2 people on different sides of the faction, unlike like Trevor and like, what was it, Michael? It's not Franklin. Franklin's from San Andreas. Protagonist. I'm gonna get yelled at for not knowing this. What was it through GTA? They are. Yeah, it is Franklin. Okay, that's what I thought. Why was I thinking? I don't know. Franklin, Michael, and Trevor, and it would be great if we see Chop again, right? Chop should be included in that, the dog. But yeah, you got Franklin, Michael, and Trevor. I don't know if they'll do 3 again. Maybe they will, because it did tell a pretty good story. But they're all like fighting together on the same side. Obviously, there's some turns. I think maybe it could be cool. They're like on 2 different sides, or let's say it is a guy and a girl, and like she's like in London, you're in America, and then you're playing as opposed, and how each kind of meet each other in the middle, but you can go between each city, right? Each country. That's really fucking interesting. Bunch of different interesting stuff. You can do that story-wise as well. So I don't know. I mean, who knows? And I think 90s is a perfect time that they haven't done. They nailed the 80s. They nailed like early 2000s. They got, modern day essentially with 5. So I think in the early 2000s being like GTA 4. So I think 90s is open. I think 90s international is kind of what we're thinking here. So I don't know. Pretty excited. No matter what the fuck it turns out to be, I'm gonna obviously play it. Can't fucking wait. I'm sure it'll be massively awesome. They're not gonna make it unless it's worthwhile. Just like Half-Life 3 with Valve. Fucking take a lesson from Rockstar. See how they did this? Valve, release the goddamn newsletter and tell us, hey baby, we're coming. Half-Life 3 is well underway in development. Half-Life 2 Episode 3 is well underway. You gave us Alex, you son of the bitches. Give us the rest. Give us Episode 3. Give us Half-Life 3. You motherfuckers. Rockstar's doing it right. Show respect to your own goddamn fans. It's been too long and we need it. You guys can make it. Half-Life Alex proved that. Now I'm going to just go into other fucking tangents. Anyways, I can't wait for GTA 6. It's going to be fucking awesome. I think other than that, that's it. I have no idea how long it went. That's like about 35 minutes this week, right? It's like nice short and sweet, right? Nice short and sweet, baby. All right, well, anyways. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate it. Glad you game. Keep gaming. A lot of stuff. We got Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring coming up this month. And hopefully a lot more cool news in gaming and maybe some studio purchases. Who the fuck knows? All I know, it's an exciting year and a great time to be a gamer, regardless of console or platform you like to play on. All right, keep gaming, be glad about it. Bye.